My Journey to $10 million, a step-by-step guide on how you can implement the same and make money online. All right, so without further ado, we're gonna jump right into this and get into the important details. So this is gonna be a step-by-step guide on how you can start a service business. Now, if you're interested in a product business, it works very similar, and shoot something in the comments and I can create a new video for that. But first off, you have to identify your service, make your first sale, build a case study, hire your first employee, systemize, focus on product enhancement, strengthen your marketing and branding, diversify, and finally, rinse and repeat. All right, so let's talk about some different service ideas that you can do to make a $10 million business today. Now, I went through a list and I've kind of done research on what I think is currently trending and where there is still a lot of opportunity. And you'll notice that a lot of these are around content creation. So there's a huge need for content editors, YouTube, like what we're doing right here. Things like that are only growing. The demand is increasing and the number of people that are actually skilled at it is very limited. So we have video editor, digital marketing agency, YouTube consultant, online education and courses, luxury travel and experience. I would also put this in with credit card points and things of that nature, which are really trending right now. Almost anything related with AI service and implementation, health and wellness coaching, content creation, tech support, IT services, event planning and influencer marketing, as well as hundreds of other ideas. The reason why I picked those is because I think all of those are services that you can really scale past $10 million in today's market and today's demand. Now, past that, one of my big tips when thinking about this service or product is you really want something that you can build recurring revenue in. The reason why recurring revenue works, let's take Otter PR, the PR agency that I own, for example. We have a lot of clients on monthly retainers. And so what that means is instead of having every month to hunt for a sale, we have clients that we have agreed that they're gonna pay us every single month. So it locks in a certain amount of revenue and really helps us scale to new levels and not focus on having to find new individual people every time. So with all of those services, you have to build in recurring revenue models to make sure that you can hit that revenue goal as quick as possible and make sure that you have a stabilized monthly paycheck. All right, so once you've picked out the service, you're offering what you're gonna sell, the next thing is you actually have to sell something. Now, because you're starting out, you have less experience, you're really learning, what I would do is either give the product away for free, so you can use a platform like Upwork currently, or Fiverr, or you can reach out to your network, you can do social media posts. And the important thing here is that you're getting your case studies and you're getting testimonials, you're getting reviews, you're getting referrals from these people as you have success with them. And it may take a while, but it's not really fair to charge someone a premium price as you're learning. The other option, and you can do kind of what we did, is I had other businesses, and so with my other businesses, I would learn a new strategy, I'd perfect it, and then I'd start implementing it for clients once I was comfortable with how well it was doing inside my own business. And that's how I've been able to diversify, and I was able to use those case studies. But as you're building out from scratch, you're really gonna wanna focus on giving away for free or extremely cheap. So if a normal, let's say, if a normal YouTube coach is $20,000 a year, you're gonna charge $500. Whatever that is, with the PR services, we start off at $500. Now we charge $8,000 a month for PR services, and that's just because we've gotten that reputation, those case studies, and we've brought in a lot of clients, and that we'll go into that in more depth, but we had to figure out that capacity versus scale. And so really what you're gonna be able to do is every 2 to 3 new clients you bring in, you can actually raise your prices, and we'll go into the next step, but that's how you're gonna grow that business and know that you always have that recurring revenue. All right, so back into selling it for the first time. When you have a lower budget, as you're really focused on those first couple sales for those case studies or the low cost, you wanna think about email marketing, platforms like Upwork, SMS, think of even, what's in your phone, all those contacts, start making phone calls and figure out who's gonna be that right fit. Don't be scared to ask people for referral if they're like, hey, I'm not doing that right now, or I'm not interested. But okay, perfect, do you know anyone that might be? And that will help you get your first couple referrals and start growing your business. The next step, and we've covered this, is really building those case studies. So you wanna focus really hard on those 1, 2, 5 clients and build really good case studies with them. Get very detailed, use video explanations, take photos, really focus on the marketing and branding of those stories. Get them to leave you a review, use that review as social proof, because what you're doing is you're going to help build your library so that way you can convert better, you can sell cold traffic, and you can bring in more people once they see the results that your clients are having with you. So now that you have, some case studies, ideally you have a couple clients in, maybe 5, maybe 10 at this point, I would personally recommend hiring your first employee. This is now the time for you to start scaling up your business. And the reason why is you don't want to necessarily be an operator focused only on implementing that service. So if you're a YouTube coach, we'll continue to use that example here. If you're a YouTube coach, that's great, but once you hit 5 to 10 clients, you probably can't do that job well anymore, especially with sales, bringing on new clients, building out case studies, and marketing. So what you want to do is figure out what's taking up 80% of your time, the majority of your time that's returning the lowest return, and hand that off to an employee. So for me, what I did was I implemented off the service because I prefer the business development side of it, actually building the business. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna find that first employee, make sure they really align the skills, get them bought in. Typically at that point, you're gonna hire them at lower cost, but really sell them on the growth. Be like, hey, you're gonna be employee number 1 in this company. We already have this much. We've grown X fast so far, and I believe in you to help me scale this business to the future. And I promise that, as we grow, if you do your job, you'll get taken care of. So it's actually an easy sell to bring in people to employee 1. A lot of people are looking for that job, that role, that responsibility, and will help you succeed. Now, once you bring in employee 1, what you want to start doing is start building out systems with them. So handing things off, making sure you have the same quality control and they're doing a good job, and standardize it. So we use a project management software called Asana, but basically you're building out standard operating procedures, or SOPs, and you can do that through video trainings, you can do that through kind of Excel files, you can do that in Asana, but whatever way you do it, you want to make sure that the processes are repeatable, so as you bring in 1 employee, 2 employees, 5 employees, and you start scaling that, they're able to scale quickly. We focused very heavily on our education system, which we call Otter University, and so there's hundreds of videos in there outlining exactly how things are done, what deliverables are, what expectations are, how to find extra help, and so that's going to be a critical piece of you being able to scale. Now that you have a couple employees on board, whether that's 1 or 3, you really want to focus on enhancing that service. So your business is never going to grow if you have an average service, an average product, something that people don't really care about, because at the end of the day, your best referrals are going to be word of mouth. That's going to be a big, rapid piece of your growth, and the case studies that you've created, proving that you're good at what you do. So really, as you have that smaller team, I would say by the time you hit 5 people, you really need to stop scaling, refocus on the product, and try to iron out all of the issues, which there will be, and really focus on making the best service and being an industry best. So that way your business just starts growing basically automatically, because everyone's gonna start telling people, and if you have a really good service, you will grow, especially when you have product market fit, which would be where that product is actually in demand. And if you go off the list I recommend, or do some research that where you can find actual need, you'll have that and you'll be able to succeed. All right, so once you've built in that improved product, you started systemizing and standardizing, that's really when you want to jump back into that marketing piece of it and re-look at, does the brand still fit where you guys are? So if you started off at $500 a month and now you're $5,000 a month, you probably have to do rebranding, modify the communication, look at your logo, look at, do you have videos on your landing page? Are you converting cold traffic, meaning can you send out a cold email or an ad and bring in people? And really figure out how you're going to bring in enough leads to grow the business. So first, I always start with that landing page or funnel, as Russell Brunson would say, and utilize that story and make sure that you're able to convert before you make a huge investment in things like advertising. At this point, once you've done that optimization, you're ready to start driving more traffic there. Direct marketing, whether that is email marketing, SMS marketing, newsletters, YouTube videos, paid advertisements, influencer marketing, affiliate marketing. There are a whole bunch of options here, but it won't work if your brand and your story isn't developed to convert. And that's why those case studies and reviews are so important, is because those will really show off the work you've done. Now, you should have a pretty robust business. At this point, you should be making $500,000 a year, if not significantly more, once you've done all of these things and you've been doing it long enough. Now, it might take 1 year, it might take 5 years, it could take even longer, but if you really focus on each one of these steps, you'll have a good business, a robust business with a good service, good branding that you're gonna be able to sell. And the next big trick to kind of accelerate that growth is to bring in a new product. So you want to figure out, what do your clients currently need? So if you're doing YouTube coaching, it would be really simple for you to bring in video editing as that next step, or graphic design, if those weren't already implemented into your service, because it's just a natural integration into that business and service where you have a huge client list already and they're all going to be interested in purchasing from you. So that's what I would recommend doing, is really putting in that new service. And then at the end of it, the last and final step is really just rinse and repeat. So look at each step of your business, improve your systems. Alex Hormozi, he said the number one thing that's helped his business grow is focusing on that service. So because what it does is it brings in referrals, and he has to spend less money on marketing, he converts better. And so you just need to go through each one of these steps over and over again and pull little levers, and you'll notice that the improvements get smaller and smaller, but sometimes the impacts get bigger and bigger. And I would say my last big piece of advice is, don't get frustrated if you don't see results in 6 months or a year or even 3 years, because it takes a long time to build that longevity. I have made more than 80% of my revenue in the last year of business because I've had rapid growth, but I've been in business almost 10 years. And so each year I've gotten better and better. The first year I basically broke even. The next year, I made $10,000, then I made $50,000, and so on until I hit the $10 million mark point. And so you're able to do it if you have the patience and you have that foresight into the future and the willingness to succeed. If you guys like this content, please make sure to subscribe, throw a comment in this video to let me know what you have more questions about, and I'll make more videos for you. Until next time, thank you.